Hello and welcome to all my friends from all across the world in today's episode of My Social Responsibility. Today, I feel humbled
Yes.
in introducing my friend, philosopher, my guide, my mentor from the day of my college. He was the director of PhD Institute of Management when I was pursuing my master's program in international business. Currently, he is the director of India's most prominent entrepreneurship training institute, which is known to each and every one of us. It's XIME. Nandagopal, Dr. Nandagopal. I'm honored to introduce to all of you to Dr. Nandagopal, who is an eminent personality and an opinion maker and a thought leader and has groomed millions of kids all across the world like me. And you can very well understand the kind of personality Dr. Nandagopal has, that in spite of being so more than 1.5 decade that I have passed out of college, but I'm still having the same affection for my mentor, Dr. Nandagopal. So I hope and trust that after this conversation, his fan following will increase in between my friends also. So most welcome, Dr. Nandagopal, and thanks a lot for accepting this invitation to come and speak to us. Dr. Nandagopal. Most welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Rajat, to accept your invitation because the younger generation today is much more informative and also very enterprising compared to the previous generation. This generation kids are very aggressive. They want to learn the things which they have learned. So they are not scared of the risks. So early generation people always try to avoid risk, but the younger generation is taking a lot of risk and experimenting what they learn. In this context, I should also appreciate you. You have taken a risk in the life, even though you are a next three generation entrepreneurship business, but you just took it up from your father and you took the business into different level. So this is a kind of a younger generation today we have in India. I'm very happy to be associated with all the younger generation, including you, and I get an inspiration from students like you when you achieve, and I feel motivated, and that gives me a lot of inspiration.
So, sir, today I have invited you for a very special purpose. We have started a campaign. We are the only company now, I believe, who is using social media as a strategic tool to and behaving like a catalyst to motivate or to engage with people at large, especially during this pandemic era. So we have started this new campaign called My Social Responsibility, and I am taking this opportunity to discuss with you about this, which we have termed as MSR, My Social Responsibility. So you being having so many decades of experience as an academician, you have worked for so many large institutions, you are still giving consultancy to most of the large corporations across the world, and you have been traveling to the globe extensively. So from your perspective, if I request you to put a light on this particular subject, my social responsibility. So as an academic organization, what will your opinion be?
So I think today the social responsibility is becoming very important, and people started realizing the importance of giving back to the society. As I mentioned to you earlier, people didn't have that kind of felt responsible to give back to the society. But today, the younger generation, they always feel that they're responsible to give back to the society, and also they want to be a very responsible citizens. As you rightly said, the social media plays a very major role in making people to understand the social issues and also make the students, younger generation, to contribute back to the society. So I think this awareness has started increasing over the period of time, especially the new technology, that is IT technology, when people started using like social media and other forums are helping to improve the awareness of the social issues. So today I could see the younger generation is also very keen to contribute to the society back. As I have seen in my own campus, we have seen a lot of students are taking interest in the social activities, and every year we do a course on manager in society. In manager in society, a program, what we do is we do it in 3 stages. The first stage, as a student, what is their responsible to contribute to the society? As an individual, they take up one campaign. For example, mass tree plantation campaign or waste management. As an individual, they use a particular social media and try to develop the campaign and make the people to aware. The second one, what we try to do is we ask them to participate in one NGO activities. For example, they have to go to a particular NGO and try to help them to, it may be marketing their own products in the NGO or a campaign for fund mobilization or some awareness campaign. So this is what second stage they do. In the third stage, what they do is they themselves develop a particular program and start working on that. I can give a number of examples on this kind of a campaign where, for example, one campaign, what they've done was they adopted a school, a particular school required toilets and bathroom. They collected money and they constructed the bathrooms and toilets also. And similarly, again, know the gender. I think you know the cross gender issue is one of the major issue. So these people are not having economically sustainable income. So what these people did was they mobilized a training program to make these people to develop certain products. So they gave a training for 1 week, and then students also continue to coordinate with them to get their products and market their products. Again, this is another project where they have got involved. Like this, I can go on explaining the different campaign. Another one interesting campaign was, I think, a city like Coimbatore to reach the general hospital, because from people from outskirts, they get sick and they move to city general government hospital. When they reach the government hospital, it takes 30 to 45 minutes of time. Student in his project, he did the analysis of the traffic mobilization, and he helped the police department to reduce the time 30 minutes to 15 minutes to reach the general hospital. So this is another project. Like this, no, students getting involved in developing a newer project. So as an institution, we also took a project where we tried to collect the waste from one panchayat union school, panchayat union. So there were 450 households in the particular panchayat. We got the permission from the panchayat. We collected the entire waste from the panchayat households, and then we classified them into different categories of the waste. And some of the waste were used to reusable waste, and some of them were sold in the market. And then we also went for making them as a fertilization and other things. So finally, what we found was the project was very economically successful. So the model, what we tried, was very successful, and we tried to develop this model, prototype model, to other local panchayat boards also. These are some initiatives which we took students to understand the social consciousness.
After listening to the whole the list of the projects which students are doing, I can only feel very, very jealous And I feel like complaining to you that when we were in college, why were such kind of experiences not given to us? And so, is this kind of a thought process changing in the institution about designing the course because of the recent experiences of the pandemic, or is it the thought process has evolved in the academics institutions to design such courses where children are groomed from the very early days? When did
No,
this thought started?
yeah. So this thought process started almost 10 years back when academic institution, especially management institution, realized that when they develop a manager, the manager is not for the corporate or profit-making enterprises. The manager is also for the social purpose. In fact, we are also initiated a lot of activities in promoting social entrepreneurship. I will come back to that little later. But what I'm trying to mention here is the academic institution last 10 years started looking this particular aspect as part of a curriculum. And in most of the business schools today, even today, XIME, Xavier Institute of Management and Entrepreneurship also gives the student a 3 credit course. During the one of the vacation, they have to go to an NGO. They have to work with them for 3 to 4 weeks, and they have to work on a project. So again, very interesting projects they take it. So from my experiences, what I found was students are voluntarily taking part in all the activities. During the pandemic, of course, students wanted to do a lot of things, but there is a lot of restrictions in the movement of the students, and also the companies and parents are also a little concerned about the students' mobility. So we did, in fact, a few months back after the first wave of the pandemic was over, somewhere in January, we have collected beds, and we have also collected dress, and also we have collected the blankets and other things for the old age home. So we visited the old age home, and we were able to distribute some of the minimum requirements after the pandemic, because after the pandemic, a lot of old people were left out of the house. So we, with an NGO at Kanjipuram, we collected the people, and we tried to give certain basic requirements, including the food and other things. And every Sunday, we try to give food for the people. And even during the pandemic period also, some of our student volunteers are going and they're trying to help these things. So this is again over a period, last 10 years, this is evolved. Now most of the business schools, even they brought it as a part of the curriculum. So they have to do a 3 weeks, as I said, internship at NGO, try to help them. And for example, as I explained to you, the manager in society, we teach them in 3 modules, which I explained to you, module 1, 2, 3, how they get involved. Again, they're evaluated based on their performance also. So this is done over a period of time. And coming back to social entrepreneurship, I'm very surprised to see a lot of my students who completed their MBA got into good jobs like Infosys or TCS or IBM. Now, after 5 years, they're all coming back to social entrepreneurship. And a lot of students are taking interest in developing new projects, like, for example, natural farming. I think I know at least 5, 6 students now taken agro farming, natural farming, and some of them are into natural products trading. Like this, students have now started social entrepreneurship.
So are you trying to tell me that, am I understanding it right, that there are specialized courses for social entrepreneurship, or in all the courses, irrespective, students are given a part exposure in social entrepreneurship? Is it
So,
like,
as Rajat,
yeah.
as you know, we were teaching entrepreneurship as a course.
Hmm.
Uh, so now in the entrepreneurship course, we are also trying to give emphasis on social entrepreneurship. So how do we start a social entrepreneurship? I think today, if you look at the innovativeness and creativeness of the youngsters to get into the social entrepreneurship is great. Ideas, for example, one of the IM students came out and started that Super 30 something, no? in Bihar, where you
Mm-hmm. Anand.
find
Anand.
like this, no, and then again the collecting the dresses, like this, no, lot of innovative ideas students are started collecting. In fact, one of our students in Coimbatore, he is doing a no food waste campaign, and what he does is he collects the food from all the restaurants or students or the families which celebrates functions, for example, marriage or some other functions. When the food is left over, these people go and collect, and they have their own regular people who has to be fed. So now it started with 100. Now they have gone to almost around 1,500 to 2,000 people. Every day they feed. So during the pandemic period also, last time they were about to feed around 20,000 people every day. So even a district collector has provided a lot of provisions from Civil Supplies Corporation, and they did an excellent job. Again, no,
Hmm.
this is the part of the entrepreneurial development course we teach them.
With my experience with you, I can share my personal experience that when I was in college, when and you were the director, it was made mandatory by you that we had to attend yoga class from morning 6 to 6:30 or 6:30 to 7 or sometimes 6 to 7. And we used to hate you for that because you made it compulsory that somebody who is not, passing in yoga will not get the degree, will be considered as failed in the whole course. We used to hate you then for making us wake up at 5:30 and go to the yoga class. But after the campus life, we never realized that the meditation and yoga inseminated into our lifestyle so well that now in the business life, when there is some stress, I jokingly tell people that you can't stress me out. My college has prepared me with yoga. And now with the technology, we have online guided meditation and all. So I have that regular practice that every day I do guided meditation at any given time whenever I feel I have a free time. So that this could happen because that time I was compelled by you to do it every day, and that became a habit. So similarly, I believe when the students are in the campus life, are exposed compulsorily with the community service activities, they will not even realize it will become part of their thought process. And when they go out in the corporate world, whether in their own business or in some other job, they will behave responsibly. Yes,
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree with you. See, this is an advantage of being in the campus. When you are in the campus, you learn a lot of things. You develop your own skills. I think the yoga, if I remember, almost 20 years back, we are the first one to start the yoga, and also the sports, physical activities also we have started. So
We
we
used to
realized
have
that,
we used to have written exam, viva exam, and oral exam for yoga also, and it
yeah,
used to be part of the marks card.
yes. So I think that is now you are able to understand the value of what you learned. See,
Yes.
I strongly believe one philosophy in my last 3 decades of management education. I think a lot of exposure has to be given on the job training. So you have to give a lot of extra. See, for example, today you would have forgotten the financial management, marketing management, but still you remember yoga. See, this is
Uh,
where I think the people has to understand the activities which we do in the campus. In fact, in PSG, we have developed what you call outbound training center after you all left. Now, almost 15 years back, we started. Again, no, the same yoga and other things, trekking, all those things we do it. So, last 20 years as a director of PSG and other institution, I am always very keen to do a lot of activities like trekking, cycling, and walking, and as you said, yoga, meditation, and all these activities really makes the students to develop themselves, overall personality of the individual, and they become full man when you do all these activities. Again, important is that is where you have to be in the campus. Unfortunately, during this pandemic period, we are missing the campus life. Last 1 year, we could not have classes. I think only few months students came in the month of January. Again, we have to close down in the month of March. So hardly they had only 3 months experience, the new batch, which is admitted last academic year. I think this is very unfortunate. A management course requires full-time physical presence in the campus.
I was about to come to this very important point that I remember during my time we had a seminar, and then that time's finance minister Mr. P. Chidambaram had come to the campus, and there was also one economist, Dr. S.L. Rao,
Yeah.
who had come along with along with P. Chidambaram, finance minister, and you were the one who were taking care of them, receiving them, and talking to them, and I was assigned as your student escort or secretary or helper to be with them all the time. And with that experience, when I saw the way you were talking to them, the way you were interacting with them, and the way you were, managing with them, it was a kind of on-the-job training for me. I was not talking anything. I was a student, junior student, and I was just supposed to be with you, helping you. But observing you lead from the front was a training for me, was a learning experience for me. The today's kids who, unfortunately, because of the lockdown and in this pandemic era, how will they get this kind of exposure? They will not. They will never understand what a great leader you are unless and until they are with you one to one. I remember we had opportunity of interacting with you in the lift, in the lobby. You used to be always very busy, and we used to feel ourselves very fortunate that today I met you in the lift, and during the course of the lift we could talk to you. It used to be a very thrilling experience for us that we spoke to you. Today students are missing that. How do they, you know, what do you think? What can institutions do to cover that up?
No, I entirely agree with you. This is one of the greatest loss for the generation, especially this pandemic affected generation is really they're missing. And of course, there are certain advantages we had also. Now, for example, the technology what we use, Zoom, for example, we were able to interact more. Even though the technology was there a few years, but none of us, we tried and none of us really used this technology. For example, the technology what we have, we are trying to make the students to get some kind of a concept understanding. The problem is during the pandemic period, the students were not able to be in the campus, so they could not have that campus life, and also they could not realize their individual responsibility towards the society. So even though the responsibility towards society by the students was not able to contribute much, but they were able to do certain campaigns. For example, some of the students did a campaign on taking up a projects like more bringing awareness of social distancing or wearing masks, and how do we avoid the COVID situation, certain kind of preliminary thing. As an individual social responsibility, people started doing this thing. So, but it would have been more effective if they're in the campus and if they're guided by the faculty members physically, and that would have been more effective.
Yes. Sir, as an institution, as a XIME, or when you were with PSG, as PSG Trust, are these big educational organizations? What is their approach towards their social responsibility, especially during such crisis situation in the whole world? Are how education institutions on their capacity performing now?
See, as an educational institution, we have to meet the different stakeholders. For example, our primary stakeholders are students and parents. During this pandemic period, what we found was many of the parents, our students' parents got affected by COVID and they were admitted in the hospital. So what we try to help them is some kind of a fee waivers or fee concessions, and we also give them a lot of extension of time for them to pay the fees, because some of the parents also lost their jobs and some of them are not getting the regular income also. So understanding the financial situation of the parents, so we have given a lot of concession, and some cases we also did waiver of the fees. So as a socially responsible institution, our first task is to take care of our stakeholder. As I explained to you, students were given some concessions. Similarly, faculty members. So for the last 1.5 years, none of our faculty members are retrenched because of the COVID situation, and all of them are paid the full salary. And we have never compromised on the salary payment, even though most of them could not attend the work in the office. They were working from home, but in spite of that, we were able to provide them the good salary, and we didn't compromise on this thing. So that is the second commitment to our stakeholders, that is the faculty. Third, what we did was in XIME as an institution, we also gave the fee concession. We gave 50% of the fee concession for the new students who are joining the course, and also the existing students who are now undergoing the course. The fee concession, the 50% concession, is mainly because if any one of the parent, if they are lost, a student who is applying to our institution, if they lost one parent, we will prepare to waive off 50% of the fees. So these are certain initiative we took as an institution. Apart from that, we were also able to do certain help, like providing masks and providing certain support to government in continuation. In fact, one of our institution at Kochi campus, where I was there, we gave the entire hostel to the government of Kerala as a quarantine center, and also to treat the first level patients also. So last 6 months, almost 6 months to 1 year, the entire hostel premises were given to them, and government was using the hostel premises without any financial commitment from the government. Completely we gave them free, and in fact we gave the maintenance expenses also went into few lakhs. For example, electricity, water charges, every month we used to spend a few lakhs for this hostel. As a social responsibility towards the country, our institution our management took a decision not to charge anything and give it free. So these are certain initiatives as an academic institution we have taken up.
Now, this is what we call leading by example. As a grown-up person, we read newspapers or either printed form or digital form every day, and there are millions of concern of parents who are under stress financially because of either loss of job, or most of them, their companies have reduced their salary. So they are really concerned and worried uh, about the fee structure which they have to pay. And here there is an institution which was always considered India's most premium institution, and the what you have done is definitely, I hope and believe that people listening to this, I have friends who are owner of schools or who are owner of colleges. I trust and believe that they will listen to this conversation and they will get inspired. So again, for benefit of all, I'm just revising what you just told me about what XIME, India's leading college, is doing. You are waiving off 50% of the fees on new admission if somebody has lost their parents. Amazing. You are also giving some time extension to your old student, and also considering concessions to them on depending on case to case. Amazing. Then to your staff, you are extending full salary in spite of work from home. And I believe this is extended even to the non-teaching staff, sir.
Yes, yes, yes.
This is mind blowing. You are actually, if there are 100, 200 staff with your college, you are actually holding on to 200 families. And then
That's true.
your college has given your hostel building covering all the overhead expenses to your state government to be converted into quarantine. So this is how XIME has become a brand, leading brand of education in India, because XIME is leading by example. I wish and pray to all my friends, I request all my friends who are in education industry. There are a lot of my friends who have huge campuses, those who have huge hostels. I wish and pray that God give them such wisdom that if they wish and aspire to become a brand like XIME, they must also follow the conduct which XIME management under your leadership is doing. Amazing, sir. Sir, now we'll come to another important aspect of a college, which is student. Like what you are doing as an institution is an example for everybody. Now, what will what kind of tips would you want to pass on to your students, unfortunately, who are not able to physically interact with you every day because of this lockdown? What special tip, the tips which you give here through this video will pass in your campus? So what tips will you give to today's students who are missing physical campus life and are going through, how can they become socially responsible as a student?
Yeah, thank you. I think it's a very good opportunity for me to share some of my thought with the students community. Not only my students, all the people, all the students who are going to listen or watch this video will get to hopefully get benefit out of this thing. First thing, socially responsibility starts from home. I think the proverb is charity starts at home. I think we have to be socially responsible, younger generation, and we should not move out of our home, and we have to be very safe, and also we should be provide the safety to the other fellow citizens of the country. The first thing is stay home and also avoid moving out of home and spreading this dangerous disease of COVID. So the first thing is, as a responsible citizen, please be at home. And even if you go out of home, please keep the social distance and also mask. I think this has become a part of our life. Maybe next 1 or 2 years, we have to follow very strictly the government requirements of wearing mask and also keeping social distance. That is the most important. The second thing, as a students, what you can do. I think one important thing is, especially in management program, students are missing the campus life. Of course, all the students miss the campus life. The management students is very important because most of the skills they learn only when they're in the campus. Okay. So what my advice is, there are a lot of online free courses available. For example, starting with Coursera, TEDx, and so many courses are available, UGC, ACTE, all the courses are available and free. So what students should do is, when you want to specialize certain things, take this opportunity and also to go around, learn courses. For example, as a faculty member, last time when the Coursera gave an offer to all the students and faculty in India, free opportunity to do the courses, I did a course on various subjects, almost around 25 to 30 courses, which I did through Coursera. So similarly, a lot of students did the Coursera courses. So now I encourage the students to go to
Sir, sir,
SWAYAM
sir.
platform.
So you are
Yeah,
telling me that you are still doing courses?
yeah, on online courses
Amazing.
because
So this is another reminder to all of us that Dr. Nandagopal, in spite of reaching this peak, in spite of being a brand in himself, is still learning every day and using this opportunity of quarantine, of this social distancing, of being at home, and he's still upgrading his skills. So why can't all of us? If somebody as super successful as you is doing it, why not us also? Great.
No, the teacher is always a learner. First he starts learning and then he makes others to learn. So as a example, I wanted to learn from many universities abroad through Coursera, and a lot of interesting subjects I learned. I will tell you history and some of the geographical courses. Very interesting, especially legal courses. How constitutions were built and different countries. A lot of interesting experience I had by learning all these courses. So my request is students should start learning these online courses. And today the social media platforms provide excellent opportunities. For example, TEDx, go to YouTube channels. You learn a lot of people. I think people like Rajat has given a lot of lectures and interact with them. I think the YouTube is one of the best channel where you can learn, hear from a lot of leaders, thought leaders. See, name any top leader, starting with them, Steve Jobs or Microsoft, anybody you can hear their speeches and get inspirations. So youngsters, especially management students, should do more online courses and go to YouTube and social media, learn every day. I think using this social media platform, I think as Rajat is doing now, how do we use social media to make this pandemic period more people socially responsible? As an individual, you can also use this social media, share the experiences of different people, concerns. For example, a lot of younger generation, even in Coimbatore, started this bed availability portals. So now they collect the information from different hospitals and then they try to give the bed availability, oxygen bed availability in the different hospitals. So again, it is an initiative of younger generation and using the social media, and maybe again you can find out the places where you may require to distribute food, put it in social media, ask NGOs to go and help them. So you will find a lot of information about the people who are affected, people who need some help and support. I think through your social media network, you collect the information, share it in public platform, so the people who are prepared to help this kind of people, definitely they will do. Normally, people like Rajat wants to help, wants to do something for the society, but where to do, what to do, how do we do, they may not know. They have money or they have time to do these things. But as a individuals, as a younger generation, through collecting information and put it in the website, what is the requirement, where the requirement is, and who needs the help. So if you put all these things in social media, I think that is a great help for the people who are in need of help. The people who wants to help them, reach them easily and comfortably. And this is what my request to the newer generation.
Thanks a lot, sir. Your talk was very structured. You have a very clear instruction and thoughts for the students. You gave a very good lead by example for an institution like yours, and you gave a very wonderful thought on the whole economic scenario going on now, or socio-economic condition going on now. I'm sure this conversation will act as a catalyst to all my friends all across the world who are listening to our discussion now. And I'm so glad, that I'm still connected to you, and I still feel charged after talking to you every time. And the kind of love and affection you have with all your students is evident wherever you go. Whether you are in US, all the alumni connect there. You are in Canada, all the alumni connect there. Whichever city you go, the alumni always eagerly wait to come and connect with you. That shows the kind of respect all of us have for you. And I'm sure with this communication, more and more people will realize the wisdom of Dr. Nandagopal. Thanks a lot for accepting and coming and talking to all of us. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Rajat, for giving me the opportunity. My best wishes to you and your family. All my best wishes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.